Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the Red Parrot channel. I'm your host Mary Ellen. This episode is a Thrifty Canucks Thrifty Thursday. Thrifty Canucks is hosted by Kim at Images by Kim, and Thrifty Thursday is hosted by Sherry at Turquoise Dreaming. I have tea. This is not Thursday, but it is I will say unashamedly maybe that this is absolutely, what do we call it? Retail therapy. It's not a good idea to drown your sadness in shopping, but if you're gonna do that, you might as well do it on a thrifty way. And I also have an update on my auction adventures, which is kind of hilarious. Okay, let's get after it. This is from the dollar store, Dollarama, and these are little wooden gnomes. And I have the famous Dutch, Danish, Finnish, Swedish big gnome book, and I think these would be wonderful for that journal, and it's also a great Christmas journal. And apparently gnomes are for every occasion now. Easter, Christmas, I'm sure there's going to be Halloween gnomes and Valentine gnomes and whatever, so apparently you can never go wrong with a gnome now. And these are paintable, so you can certainly create any kind of seasonal. And there's 6 in here, and 2 of them have punch dots and some thread, so couldn't say no to the gnomes. This one next is, hang on, let me get it without dropping it. Oh, there we are. Oh, okay, well, I got it in a knot. There we are. This is a beaded necklace that I am going to take apart for the beads. There we are, that's better. It's all twisted up. And some lovely beads in here. So these are seed beads, but a little bit larger. So these 3 colors here are pretty good seed beads. And then the golds are slightly larger. And then these gold here, there's 2 different kinds. There's like a spacer and then a bead, and those are also larger again. So what I do with these kind of necklaces is I always wash them, because they have been next to skin probably for some time, and so I just wash them just to clean up, and then I will cut and harvest them. But I like these colors as well. Lovely, lovely sort of summery, and also gold. And I'm gonna plunk that down on the floor. Okay, so this needs a little story, I think. So recall that I went on a little bit of a, hey, let's learn about online auctions and figure out how they work. And I ordered a bunch of things. I think you might remember the lovely journal that I had. I had some cabinet cards. I think there was some stamps that I might have gotten. And I also ordered, bid on and won fabric. And the fabric looked really nice in the picture. It was pretty, lots of colors. Was one of the close-ups showed that you could tell that it was quilting fabric, so it was actually good stuff. And I bid on it, and I won it for $1.50. I am not in a position to do a lot of traveling to do the pickup for my auctions, and this is good because it will probably keep me off the auction site, because I need to have things mailed to me. And so I had it mailed to me, and I didn't think more about it. And then a box arrived, and I think the postage on it was like $20 or, you know, $22, like it was in excess of $20 anyways. So that meant that what I had paid for this stuff was going to be, for argument's sake, let's call it $25. So let's get a piece of paper here because we're going to do some math on this because I am just dead curious. So let's call it $25. So, and then it was $1.50 for the actual material plus 51 to $23.50 in postage. Postage is expensive in Canada. And then I started undoing it, and I'm going to keep track of the yardage as best as I can. And we're going to go through what all came in this box for grins. And I make no apologies for the length of this video. I am being completely self-indulgent. So this, I believe, I'm going to say, is about an eighth. Now we got to figure out what yards are. So 1 yard is 36 inches. Divided by 8 is 4, 5, 3, 4 is 32. What am I going to call this? Because I need to do the measurements. Or we could just do inches. Let's just do inches because you know what? That'll be more fun. 6 inches. Okay, so we've got the orange. Very nice, like that. Next up, we have this, which is Westminster Fibers Riviera. And I think these are British fibers. Let's call that, well, let's call it 12 inches. And we can open it up, have a nice look. These have just come out of the laundry, so there's going to be threads and so forth. This is quite pretty. I like this. There we are. Next one is there, and there's a second one of that. So these are fat quarters. Maybe it's this side. Yes, it's this side. So this side says, designed for the Woodrow Studio for the Quilters Guild of the British Isles 25th anniversary 2004. So a fat quarter times 2 is half a yard, which is 18 inches. Oops. And so I have 2 of these. And when I got these were completely bound up in the, they sort of have a weird little cardboard thing or sometimes tape or whatever, and they were just never been opened. I've got 2 of those. Next, we have this lovely, oh dear, I'm getting my coffee journal out. I really think this is pretty. I like this one a lot. This is, what is this? Rainy Days and Mondays by Malimba and Beccabury, Riley Blake Designs. And this is going to be 18, let's call it 18. And so this is another 18 inches. Here we are. Next one, another sort of color in that same view. Where's the, here we are. Rainy Days and Mondays, so it actually does match. Oh my goodness, leaning over. So it is a complete match for that as a part of the same design set. Did I say, so 1, 2, 3, 4. This is another 18 inches. Now I'm putting the initials down of what I'm on because I might lose track. Those also go really nicely with the beads. I wonder if I had that on my brain. I'm just going to reach down and, oops, bring it all back. Doesn't that just coordinates really nicely. I like that. I like that a lot. We are, okay, stay focused, focus, focus, focus. This, I believe, is a fat quarter, and this is Prismaglass by Paula Naderdstern. So I'm going to call that a quarter, so that's third fat quarter. Next is this, which is, what does this one say? I wonder if this is, oh, no. It's called Flower Show 2 by the Benterex Studio. Now this has got some yardage. So there's that, and I'm gonna say that's either 1.5 yards. Let's fold it, so 4. So yeah, 4 times 18. 18 times 2 is 36. So this is 2 yards. So 2 yards of this. This is quite pretty. It's ombre into and out of this color, and it's ombre in 2 directions, this way and that way. So it's a lovely material. And all quilting material is usually quite lovely. That. Next up, what do we have? Oh, we have another red here. Reddy orange. So I've got this one. Whoops. This one, does it have a name? I don't see one, but it is, whoops, I'll open it properly for you. There we are. So these are, what do we call these? It's really pretty. Very echo dye printy looking. Hibiscus, maybe? Oops, I just spilled tea on it. This, I think, is probably 1 yard. Nope. Is it 2 yards? Yes, it's a yard. Let's just fold it. So this is another yard. So we've got 1 yard of this. $36 of flowers. Okay. I'm gonna just move momentarily over to this part of the table because I am certain I am going to need a calculator because there is no way I'm going to be able to do this math in my head. Even just the 2 numbers. So this is blue polka dots, and it is just a modeled color, not a lot of not map looking. That's what I was checking to see. This is called Wyndham Fabrics presents Gypsy Garden, Genevieve Galli. That must be the designer. And we will see how much of this we have. So this is so that's 1, 2, so this is 2 yards of this. So that's 2 yards of the polka dots. Next one is, what's this one? It's called Bliss by James Spoler Quilt Poetry. Northcote.com. And I'm going to go with, this is, nope, I'm going to do that. How's that? So 12 times 4 12 times 4 is 48. Yes. And this is, I love this swirly swirl. We call that paisley blue. Next, we have this, which is Westminster Fibers Queen Anne's Lace. And one of my favorite lines from Anne of Green Gables is, "Oh, Anne, it's the last of the Queen Anne's lace. Nobody notices your hair anymore." I was thinking after she dyed it green accidentally. And this is trying really hard to be a yard. And this one's got bees on it as well. Did I say that was a yard? Queen Anne's Lace. The bees are really, could be lovely to fussy cut. And I love the circle of this. Such bold patterning to be used as the base for embroidery. I can imagine putting beads in all of these, or French knots or colonial knots, and then even doing some kind of couching along some of this would make it look really pretty. Change the textile entirely. There's that. There's this one, which is not quite the same as the other blue that we saw. This is called Robert Kaufman Marvelous Swirl. Marvelous, designers, so funny designers. What do we have here? So we've got this, that's 2-ply. That's 4, so that is 2 yards. Blue swirl. There we are. And last but not least, we have this. This is, what is this called? What's in the Ocean by Robin Betterly, licensed to Wilmington Prints. And so these are lovely fish scales. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of fabric. I need to go stand up. So hang on, let me stand. We're gonna do the same thing as we did before in terms of just folding it and folding it until we get to 18 inches. There. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times 18 is, I have no idea. On 8 times 18, 4 yards. 4 yards of this. There we are. And that is the last of the $1.50 fabric purchase. So let us continue doing some math because I just want to know. So let's do the inches first. So we have 6 plus 12 plus 18 plus 18 plus 18 plus 36 plus 48 plus 36. It's 192 inches divided by 36 will give us 5.3 yards. And this is 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's 15.3 yards plus a fat quarter. So then our total is $25 divided by 15.3. Oh, so we spent $1.60 a yard. On that auction haul. That's why auctions can be amazing. And two, they are 100% something that I do not need to do any more of, because I have so much fabric now. I will be making journals until doomsday. Even if all I ever used was this fabric, not including the fabric that I got. So, thank you for coming along with me on that little journey of understanding how much fabric I got and what the price was and so forth. And now returning to something that's a little more sedate and calm and sort of within normal working parameters. This is a sheet, and it is a plain white cotton sheet, and I've got that because we are doing dyeing. 100% Egyptian cotton. And I have cotton bed sheets, but they all have some kind of pattern on it, and I just wanted to have something that was plain and white. And so, because I didn't have enough fabric to start with. Holy Hannah. Also under the banner of textiles and threads, I saw all of this embroidery thread. It is not DMC or what's the other one? Coats and Armors. It is called Friends Forever. So this must be some kind of a craft. It's made in China. But I just all the pretty thread, and I couldn't say no. And there is an awful lot of it, and I am here to say that I got it in part because of these. Oh, there's whites. Whites can be dyed. Just throwing that out there for anybody who is doing any kind of echo printing or whatever. I should get that. Oh, and there's red. So I got it for the variegateds. Sure, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Moving on. We are going to turn our mind now to books and leave fabric station behind. I have periodic access to this, which is a Nature Conservancy Canada. It is a non-profit organization that helps with conserving Canada areas, and I get I get this given to me from time to time when they're done with it, so that's fine. And it's just lovely matte paper, and it's got some really great images. It's got beautiful matte colors as well. That's got some nice sort of bits and pieces of information. Oh, cows. I've been looking for cows. Okay, so we need to, there we are. I knew I'd seen a cow recently. Oh, look at the turtle. Turtles. And then information and about people and about places, etc., etc. And every time I see this picture, I want to create a journal out of these two kids, because I just love the feel, the spirit of adventure that these kids are going on. I mean, and these are serious kids. I mean, he's got rope and, you know, a lantern and like that's just really great. And there's some nice drawings. So anyways, there we are. And I'm going to plunk that on the floor and hopefully cause this not to go. All right, so look at what I have. I have a National Geographic. Cindy at Studio Lou, about a year ago, did a video using Citrusol and modifying the pages of a National Geographic. I knew that I had seen it recently, couldn't find it, and she, loving spirit that she is, helped me out and said, oh, here is the link to it. And I have looked at it a couple of times now. So her views on that video are just going to skyrocket because I just keep looking at it. I'm going to have to make notes on it once. So she basically takes a National Geographic and she modifies it. And it's another one of those things, oh, I want to try that, see what that looks like. So I have a National Geographic. With her instructions, I am going to modify it. And for sure, I am going to have a, what do we want to call it? A roundup of whatever the results are. And there's a bunch of foldy-outy ones of this. Sorry, Buddy, love Buddy. So this is, oh, this must be, yes, a very long tree fold out. And what's on the back? The back is on, the back has what is in a tree, which is all kind of birds and ants and moths and so forth. And I feel judged. That's what I feel. I feel totally judged. So one of the things that I tried to do, ooh, look at this. Beautiful pictures, lots of color. So one of the things that I did when I was there was try and find a National Geographic that had some color to it, because this, when it is reacting to the Citrusol, will just go black. And I don't want that to happen. But I think National Geographic has a photographic style, maybe, of using black. I mean, that's a very dark image. That's a very dark image. That's not particularly bright. That's mottled. That's another dark image. That's another dark image. And I think they have a lot of them. That's just a weird image. Ooh. Okay, so point being, going to be doing some things. Watch this space. Oh, birds go on the side. National Geographic, we also have something called a Canadian Geographic. And one of my local libraries has a really good perpetual library sale. And magazines are $5 for $1, I think. And then books are $1 or $2 or something. Anyways, this one was there, and I said yes at the cover. And so these are beautiful photographs of wildlife. Just some absolute triple threat. Skunks, and bears, and puffins, geese. And I just couldn't say no to the beautiful photographs. I should try one of these pages just to see if it does the same thing as the National Geographic, because it feels very much the same, but that's doesn't mean anything really. But just some gorgeous, gorgeous photographs. And I don't really use photographs a lot, but I would certainly be willing to use that as a piece of stationery or as a page or something, just because. Oh, burp. There's a bear. Anyways, there we are. Next magazine is a Molly Makes. I haven't flipped through this, but it is full of making, and there are 3 pages. And it's that I got it for. I think there's one, is that one? 1, 2, 3, 4, pages, and then just some other images that would be nice for fussy cutting and using as backgrounds. But I got it predominantly for this kind of large, bold paper. And again, super inexpensive, so well worth it. Carry on, and I don't have to talk over them. So next one is Missouri Star Quilt Company block. This is Jenny Doan, and she is the owner, founder, and sort of queen of quilting in some circles. And I've always wanted to see this magazine, never seen it in the wild, and it was therefore super inexpensive, and it has got lots of patterns in it. Here's the quilt you can make, and then all the instructions. The front cover has got like the index of all of the quilts that are there, and the same some quilting instructions in the back, and then some sort of what the quilts look like all made up. And Lord only knows I have enough quilt material sitting behind me. And I also want to, at some point, not now, talk about this, Modern Masters of Quilting, the Gee's Bend quilters, but not for now. Next up, I saw this and it made me laugh. It's called the Snooty Bookshop 50 Literary Postcards by Tom Gauld. And they're like a Tim Holtz snark version of books in libraries and so forth. So for example, yes, we do have a copy of the book you're looking for. You'll find it in the vastly overrated section of the so-called classics department. It's that kind of stuff. Oh, there's one. Our dear departed books, dropped in the bath, mauled by a baby, taken on an Italian holiday and never came back, left on a bus, might be in one of those boxes in the basement, accidentally recycled with the newspapers, lent to an unreliable friend. Where is the one on? There's one on. We've had our inciting incident and we're on the journey, so it seems like we'll be having a crisis any minute now. This quest was a lot more fun before you got that book on story structure. There's one on Frankenstein that just made me laugh. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to torment you through all this. Here. Oh, Frankenstein. That's not my name. Frankenstein is the scientist who created me. I thought that was Van Helsing. Van Helsing's in Dracula. It's completely different. So who's Captain Ahab? Much later. D'Artagnan is a musketeer. Ariel is the Little Mermaid. And Jor-El is Superman's dad. I think I've got it now. Content analysis of the memoir. The slightly vain but reasonable queen, the magic mirror, and the blossoming stepdaughter. Your stepdaughter is more beautiful than you. Really? Afraid so. Oh well, that's life, I suppose. Have you seen my embroidery? On the sofa. Thanks. So anyways, I just thought these were really fun in their postcards, and they will do quite well, I think. So I have, next up, I have two, count them two. Well, one's a youth and one's a child's book. This I got because it is Nancy Drew, and I love Nancy Drew to the power of the sun. I could not get enough of Nancy Drew when I was a kid because she was an independent woman, and I read her like nobody's business. And I love this hot pink. I just think that would be a really fun journal to make that is a hot pink journal. Oh, books go over here. And now, because, what is it? You need to, you become the people that you hang out with. So, I hang out with, Kirsty at Quirky Queens, Michelle at Michelle's Journaling Chaos, and Cindy at Studio Lou. two of them, Cindy and I think Michelle, have done a journal of a children's book. And I found this one. It's called Great Wolf and the Good Woodsman. It is a Christmas story, and it is a lovely story that is very comforting and sweet and not at all horrible. It is about a woodsman who is kind and generous and loves his animals, and a wolf who wants to feel like he belongs at Christmas, and some other secondary characters. And one of the things that I have been taught by people who do this is that when you have text only on one side, it makes the making of a complete book, like you keep all of the text in the story order, possible. So I thought that, of course, in my spare time, when I am not doing any of the other things that I am interested in, that I would give this a try. It is got some interesting, because it's a Christmas story and it doesn't look Christmassy. And so that means that the decoration could be very Christmassy. And there is a whole black and red plaid aesthetic for Christmas that I think would go really nicely with this as well. So I have that on the list of things to do at some point, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, and last but not least, we have this book called The Wonders of Nature. Look at that inside cover. Oh, so yummy. And it's gilded edges. You know it's a good book when the edges are gilded. Written by Ben Hoare, illustrated by Angela Rizza and Danielle Long. It is a DK book. So these are all of the elements. So there's rocks and minerals, microscopic life, plants, and animals. And you can see each one is listed here. So let's go through this in not a particular hurry. So this is what the inside looks like. And they will take basically a double spread and do the topic. So this is malachite. Malachite green is a biochemical and botany dye. That's where I first learned malachite. Fluorite, opal, like look at that, like this page, like you could, like you have a page already and then just cover that and you're kind of done. It's just a gorgeous book. Turquoise. And just enough information to keep it consumable, but not so much that you want to stop reading. That marble, that green. And then we get into fossils. Always have a poor little insect trapped in amber. And then we go to microscopic life. I also appreciate this context. So one of the things that I think no, I'll say that differently. One of the things that I really needed as a child but never got was context. So we would just start studying something and I would never know, well, why? Well, why is that important? Well, just don't ask questions, just keep at it. But to understand like where we are in the world, like fungi, like mushrooms are over there. This is the trees. Those kinds of things are really useful pieces of information that help you stay oriented. And I do not like to be disoriented. And so this goes on with some gorgeous, like, look at the colors. And I believe I'll just sort of stop here for a moment. And I think it's Cindy that really does enjoy a good toadstool, good mushroom. So that's a beaut. That is absolutely a beaut. Look at that lichen. Oh, that is a Christmas image, if I ever saw one. Silver gray reindeer moss is an important food for caribou in the wintertime. Oh, water bear. They're called something else. They're called something. Does it say? No, they're just going to call it water bear. Cephalopods. And now plants. So this is another way to be able to stay connected to where we are in this nomenclature makes me bananas. Club mosses. Club mosses aren't actually mosses. Then don't call them mosses, but are another group of primitive plants. Millions of years ago, these plants grew as tall as trees, but today all club mosses are small. Their simple leaves are hard, narrow, and scaly. Seriously. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, look at that. That's also pretty. I don't think you're going to be able to find any not pretty pictures in this book. Some ginkgo. Giant sequoia. These images are just gorgeous. So when I opened this book initially, I think I was in the flower section and I did not need any convincing to do anything, but I think this was the page that I opened it to. And I went, yep, I'm having this, because the pages are not glossy either, but that's just a gorgeous photograph. Like, they're full pages and so pretty. So anyways, that's the flowers. And then eventually we get to the animules. Another tree. A sponge. Okay, I want to get up to the ones that have fur. Okay, these do not have fur. I don't know what that is. Oh! Cassowary. These are brutal birds. These are lethal. This will kill you. A duck. Pigeon. Yeah, that's you got the fancy pigeon to... Oh, heron. Here, we have herons. That's fun. I like that picture. Eagle. A wombat. Armadillo. Jaguar, right? Oh, it's a bird. And this is going in alphabetical order, and then we got the glossary and then the visual guide at the end for all the bits and pieces. So that is my long, slow, painful, but luxurious, thrifty Thursday on a Friday. I am going to say toodaloo for now. I need to put some of this away, and I need to do, sort of circle back and work on the coffee journal. Minor update. I think I have enough pockets now, and now I need, I think, 14-ish or so journaling cards placed to write to be able to put them in. So that's going to be my next step. But as always, thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and keep you updated on what I've been able to discover and find and what I'm following. Please like, subscribe, and if you're have something to say, always feel free to drop a line in the comments. Thanks so much, and we'll see you real soon. Bye now.